Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Cindy.
And we're here with another Feeding Frenzy for the 40-day prosperity plan. We are on day 17.
Strength statement number 7 says, the divine consciousness that I am is forever expressing its true nature of abundance. This is its responsibility, not mine. My only responsibility is to be aware of this truth. Therefore, I am totally confident in letting go and letting God appear as the abundant all-sufficiency in my life and affairs. I like this one.
I do like this one.
Unlike the last one, I like this one.
What do you like about this one?
It just takes all the pressure off of me. And I know it's just pressure I've put on myself, but when I realize that somebody...
Did you hear that small explosion go off camera? There's one of those stupid games on my phone. Tries to get my attention.
And I thought the money was already coming.
It would have been a good one.
Okay.
Shall I go off the camera and grab a bunch of coins? That'd be good, wouldn't it?
See how
Be
good
good for the blooper. Yeah.
Okay, the divine consciousness.
Go back to it.
The divine consciousness that I am is forever expressing its true nature of abundance. This is its responsibility, not mine. My only responsibility is to be aware of this truth. Therefore, I am totally confident in letting go and letting God appear as the abundant all-sufficiency in my life and affairs. And what I was saying was, it takes all the pressure off of me because I don't have to do it. God does it. I just have to be open to it and aware of it and trust that it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of those, that pressure is pressure I've put on myself. But still it's pressure. Regardless of how it got there or who put it there, it's still pressure. And so when I realize that it's not my responsibility, I don't have to work so hard to make this stuff happen. All I have to do is to let go. Sometimes that's harder
So what does that mean to you, to let go? What does that look like?
That's changed as we've done this. I think used to I really had trouble understanding what it meant, and now it's. I think of when I'm fighting. Well, I think of a stream, and I'm fighting so hard to go up that stream. And I think Abraham was the one that made me think of this, the Abraham Hicks stuff. I'm fighting so hard to go upstream, but if I just let go, then I just go with the flow. I don't go where I was headed, which is probably a good thing, but I just let go and let the stream take me instead of fighting so hard against it.
But a lot of people take that sentence, let go and let God, as to quit doing. And I don't think that's what it's implying at all.
Not at all. Well, no, not at all.
We still have a part to play in this.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's a reason to be here.
But usually when I'm tired and angry and frustrated, and then I'm doing something that God didn't nudge me to do.
Or you're pushing against the stream.
Right. Or I'm doing something I think I ought to do. Or should do. You know, the coulds and shoulds and woulds, they just get me. And if I just let go. I think about the other day when you were not feeling so well, and you said, but I've got to do this, and I've got to do that, and I've got to do this. And I said, what would happen if you just didn't? You know, if we just let go of all those things that are pulling on us. You know, when I go down through my to-do list, and I think, I get so overwhelmed because I got to do this, and got to do this, and got to do this. What if I just don't? You know, is the world going to fall apart? And there's a lot of days I just look at my to-do list and think, okay, what would happen if I didn't do this one? And what would happen if I didn't do this one? You know, which one's going to make the world fall apart today? You know, which one's going to lose that client or whatever? If I've got 14 clients and they're all hollering.
Yeah, well, we can serve one at a time.
Exactly. Which one is
can't
the one,
serve two masters.
Which one is hurting the most?
Right.
You know, you have to make choices.
Right.
So, when it comes to letting go, I just think, what would happen if we just didn't do that? What would happen if I just don't worry about the money today? What would happen if I just don't get this bill paid? You know? And I just make choices based on that. If you've only got so much money and you got so many bills, then usually if I just say, okay, God, I'm going to pay the ones I can and that would
I'm
hurt
going to
me
have
the
to
most.
let you take care of
But
the
if I
rest.
let you take care of the rest, and every time I do
But
everything
then,
I can
is
do.
that the stopping point? When you said, okay, then I'm just going to let you pay the rest, God.
If I've done everything I can do.
Yeah. But what I'm getting to is that's not necessarily the stopping point. That is in that moment. I've done everything I can do in this moment. So I finished that by saying, if there's something else I need to do, then let me know.
Right.
If there's something I need to change or something I need to do,
Well, I always get that
then let
nudge.
me know. Right. And then I have to be ready to act upon whatever nudge or sign or whatever it is that I get.
True. In most, well, I don't want to say most, in a lot of cases, what I've found is that usually it's because I am afraid to make a decision. And once I make that decision, either way, doesn't matter. I don't really believe there's a wrong decision. It's just
A choice.
a choice. If once I make a decision, whatever it is, then usually everything just falls in behind that. And my frustration or anger or discord is because I have not made the clear choice yet. And I'm going back and forth. Do I pay this bill or this bill? Or do I need to pay this one? Or do I want to go get that? Or whatever it is. Once I make the decision and say, okay, enough of the fighting in my head, I'm going to do this, then it seems that God, the universe, whatever, just gets in behind me and makes that work. And that's another way of letting go in my mind is
But
make
that's
the
the point
decision.
too. You had to make the step. You had to take the first step before the universe lines in
Exactly.
behind you and
Exactly.
follows.
Right.
But that's the point. You have to take that step. So I think in the letting go and letting God, it's not saying quit doing.
No.
It's just letting go of the how
Worry,
it has to
right.
happen, or the worry over it, or the tearing myself apart because I'm trying to come up with. Just take that course of action and allow what happens happen, and then you can course correct
Right.
from there. I can't remember who said it, but someone said, as long as you're moving, you can make corrections. You can correct your course once
Right.
you're moving. But if you're standing still, there is no correcting anything.
Right.
You're at a stalemate. So it's that taking that first step. So I don't believe the letting go and letting God is saying quit.
No, not at all.
It's letting go of all the baggage that comes with trying to avoid making that decision.
Right, right. So I'm learning, which is hard for me because I hate making decisions because I'm afraid I'll make a bad one. But there is no bad one. It's just a different choice. And so I'm learning that decisions are key to moving forward. Because until I make a decision, I don't have a foot in either place. Or I've got a foot in both, which is even worse because then I'm being split in two. So once I make the decision, everything seems to work better.
Well, it just falls into place.
So in my mind, that's more of letting God. So it's just letting go and letting the stream take me to where it needs to take me. Because once I make a decision to quit, the stuff I'm doing that ain't working.
Well, I don't know about you, but beforehand, I would worry about what dam am I going to get to once I get further down the stream. And I would build up such a huge thing in my mind, but by the time I got there, we're talking about 2 sticks that were crossed, in front of my path, rather than it being the full dam that I was envisioning. So my thoughts could take me further, and by the time I got there, my fear was so much bigger than the actual problem. That you get there and you think, what was I so worried about? Why didn't I do this sooner? If I had known, well, like I said before, that's the point. Hindsight is 20/20. If our forward vision was 20/20, we would just head down that stream and not worry about it. So I think that's what this practice does. It helps our 20/20 vision become our forward vision rather than our backward view.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, I'm going to replace it with God this time.
Do that.
The God that I am is forever expressing its true nature of God. This is its responsibility, not mine. My only responsibility is to be aware of this God. Therefore, I am totally confident letting go and letting God appear as the abundant all-sufficiency in my life and affairs. Does that change it for you?
It just calls me to remember that God is always active in me. I just bit my tongue, sorry. God is always active in me. Was that God telling me you're talking about it? And that my responsibility truly is just to allow. That Christ within me, that spirit within me, that part of God within me is always attempting, always expressing. And it's just my responsibility to allow it.
Now see, I think that's another good definition of letting go, is allowing. I know that when my kids want to do something so bad and I'm fighting against it, then it's just a problem. And if I just let go, 9 times out of 10 they change their mind. You know, or 9 times out of 10 it turns out completely different than what I was worried about and why I was fighting it. So sometimes I think if we just allow things to happen, you know, I'm not saying just don't get in the way ever and speak your mind, but once I've told them, I don't think you ought to do that, I don't think that's a good idea, and they have that to consider, then a lot of times if I just let it go after that, if they still choose to do it, then we both say that.
I don't know about you, but there have been many, many times. Yours were homeschooled, so it was different. But mine get ready to go off to school, and we have this wardrobe fight. You know, it's 15 degrees outside. You may not want to wear shorts. I got so tired of that fight. You know what? And I fought against it and fought against it and fought against it. And then there was one day I just let it go. I thought, you know what? Go find out how cold it is. I did much more than get to school, and they were calling me. Could you please bring me clothes? And there was never that fight again. But once I had allowed it,
right,
you know,
things just
changed.
seem to take care of themselves.
But that works in my own life too. How many times I fight against something, and if I just would have allowed it to either work or not work, then the fight would have been gone.
Right, right. Or so many times we worry about what's going to happen that we almost bring it on ourselves. Where if we just let it go, just quit worrying about it, quit thinking about it, then 9 times out of 10 it works itself out.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it means to me. Okay, so now I'm going to replace it with energy. The energy that I am is forever expressing its true nature of energy. This is its responsibility, not mine. My only responsibility is to be aware of this energy. Therefore, I'm totally confident in letting go and letting energy appear as the abundant all-sufficiency in my life and affairs.
That's
better?
good.
What'd that do?
Yeah, it opens it up for me, back into true nature, almost. You know, they brought back the analogy of the electricity.
Well, you know what it said to me this time? Is that, not just because of that word, but I just saw it differently, is that energy is energy. God is God. That's their true nature. That's all they can be. And the only time they're not that is when I limit them. Or put them in that box to say, this is what you got to be. Well, then they can't be what they really are, which is much better than whatever box I put them in. So when I say, okay, my money has to come through a paycheck, or my money has to come from an employer, then that limits God to what He can do, because that's the only place I'm allowing that to come in. So, you know, if we would just take those limits off, and to me there's another way of letting go, is take that limit off and just say, okay, God, be God. And I'm going to absorb everything I can. I'm going to be a good receiver, and you just be God, and I'm just going to let go.
If we could just let go and allow God to be God in my life.
That was a good prayer there. Okay, God, just be God. That's your responsibility. I don't have to try to make you the God that I want.
Wow, isn't that freeing? Just be God in my life.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's good.
that's good stuff.
It is.
Shreen.
Shreen.